What radio? The music you want.
More variety than any other station on the planet. RadioWhat.com.
What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live in a living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you can have me at your next event. I like to party with the people. Speaking of partying with the people, I know you've heard him on the podcast before, and we're going to have him again. I got Heston Cleveland. He's going to be talking about his mama, Carrie Cleveland. Yes, she did some music back about 40 years ago, and she's bringing it all back. So you get to listen to a little bit of that story in your ears coming up in the next few minutes. This week's shows, if you care to come out to two public shows that I have this week. On Thursday night, I'll be at the Old Post Barbecue in Russellville, Arkansas. That's from 6 to 9. That's the video dance party, karaoke jam, family friendly. And they got the best barbecue right there in Russellville, Arkansas, the Old Post Barbecue. That's on 4th Street and Arkansas Avenue. In Russellville, they got the chicken wings and the barbecue ribs. Oh, this Dagwood sandwich, it's huge. This big, giant sandwich. And if you eat it all, they put your picture up on the wall. They go, you are amazing. You ate all this meat. And you put it in your belly. It's incredible. It's a big, giant sandwich. I encourage anyone that goes out to the Old Post tomorrow to have yourself a Dagwood. I want to see some fresh, new pictures on the wall. So, yeah, and all that barbecue has some nice smoky flavor. I mean, the wings are my personal favorite. They usually send me home with a few wings at night, and I'm kind of excited about that, because I get me some good wings at the Old Post Barbecue in Russellville, Arkansas. And beyond that, I get to play with the people from 6 to 9. And it's, like I said, it's family friendly, so bring everyone. It's a good after-school treat. It's a good after-work treat. And just good times. They also have frosty beverages for the adults in case you care to imbibe. But, I keep the music family friendly. Thursday nights at the Old Post Barbecue in Russellville, Arkansas. And then on Friday night, yeah, Friday, I'm at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. You know the Rab. Yeah, I've been there for the last, 8 years on and off, maybe longer. How long have I been in this town? 2009, probably shortly after I started doing the Rab, and it's been on and off since then. And that's my usual Friday night gig. I think for the past 3 years, I've been there at least 50 weeks out of the year, which is great, man. I get to go see all my friends right there at the Rab and play for the people. They got the full bar. Now, this one is an over 21 adult show, so, hey, the music won't entirely be family friendly, but it'll be fun, I'll tell you. And I'll play whatever you want. Sometimes we do 80s, 90s, we do some 70s. Hey, since I'm talking to Heston Cleveland, I'll probably play some of the Carrie Cleveland stuff. So plus it's coming close to Valentine's Day, so I'm going to start feeling the love, and that's what Carrie Cleveland's all about, right? See what I did? I'm talking about my shows, and then I'm also promoting the singer. Yeah, that's coming up on the program. I'm trying to mesh those things together. Is it awkward? Maybe a little bit, but that's me, That's me. So, yeah, they got the full bar, the kitchen. They got burgers, fries. They got chicken wings. Hey, their chicken wings are pretty good, too, over at the Rab. And they got Jersey Girl Pizza. I encourage you to check that out. Pool tournament every Friday night at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. You could make some money while you're waiting to sing a song on stage right here next to me. Yeah, you could do it. Now, on the party patio, they got shuffleboard, foosball, darts, giant Jenga game, checkers. There's always something to do while you're waiting to sing. On stage, you're the star of the show at the Rab Friday night. That starts at 8 p.m. and we go until about 1:30 in the a.m. All right, it's time to talk to Heston Cleveland, and we're going to be talking a little bit about his mama, Carrie Cleveland. Yeah, you know who Carrie Cleveland is. You don't. You better look her up. You better do it right now. Wait, don't do it right now. Let's talk to Heston, and then we'll look up Carrie Cleveland songs and just listen all night long. Calling Heston Cleveland now.
Afternoon, my friend.
Hey, Heston.
Or should I evening?
Yes, indeed. Good evening, indeed. Heston Cleveland hanging out on the What Makes You Famous podcast once again. I know it's been a couple months since we've spoken, but a lot has changed in those 2 months. Tell me what's going on right now, Heston Cleveland.
Right now, Dan. Okay, since the last time I talked to you, my mom was contemplating a comeback.
Yes.
So I went to her and I asked her, do you really want to do this? And she said yes. So we jumped right in, full speed. In our endeavors, we sold a few original copies to a guy named Christopher Ford. He owns Hercules Records in Berkeley.
Yes.
1725 Alcatraz. So we started talking, and he was like, man, if your mom wants to sing, we could get a band together. We could explore some things.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, my mom is up in age. So
yes, she just celebrated a birthday, didn't she?
Yes, sir. 79 years old.
79 years old. I'm looking at your beautiful mama blowing out the candles on her cake on your Twitter feed just a couple days ago.
Yeah. It was, we had so much fun. It was a small group of us, my cousin, her boyfriend, another cousin, and myself and my mom. We went to a couple of wineries and just hung out and had a good time.
Oh, yeah.
And that morning I got up and I asked all my Twitter friends and family, could they do me a favor and give a shout out for my mom on her birthday. Over 100 replies. Happy birthday from Germany. Happy birthday from South Africa. Happy birthday from South America, Mexico, Canada, New York, all over the world. So I ran and showed her, and she just lost it. She started crying.
Oh.
And I'm like, why are you crying? She said, I'm just happy. Because, the older you are, the less attached you are to social media.
Sure.
And I've been trying to get her to understand how popular she is. So I kind of think she's starting to understand that everywhere we go, they find out who she is. They treat her like royalty. So, we decided to put together a meet and greet here in the local area, because the record companies from London, and unfortunately, it's not much promotion actually where we live.
You're saying in Oakland, California?
Well, in California, in the States overall, but if we can't get it going where we live, it's a dead end, So we did a couple of TV interviews, and she's going to have a return to Good Day Sacramento.
Wow.
It's a local TV station where she is going to perform a song
How exciting.
and announce the meet and greet. So we decided to do a record signing meet and greet, and she's going to perform a couple of songs.
That's incredible. Right on television? When is that going to happen?
Well, I've been waiting, holding back. I have to call it sometime like maybe the first week in February, right before the meet and greet, which is February 15th. She had interview 2 weeks ago, 2 Sundays ago, for the Chronicle.
Oh,
That's
fantastic.
probably the biggest newspaper in California. Well, I know for sure the Bay Area. And she's going to be the main story in the entertainment section.
I'm excited for you, Cleveland Heston. For those that didn't get to listen to the last podcast a couple months ago, who are we talking about? Your sweet mama. Who is she? I know she made a bunch of music about 40 years ago, but tell the people her name and what she's doing now. Has she been out there singing? Tell the people a little bit about your mama. Brag on her.
Oh, I have no problem of doing that, my friend. Hey, besides, because it's my mama.
Yes.
So, Miss Carrie Cleveland.
That's who we're talking about.
And my mom and dad started a band called The Creative Set back in the mid-'70s.
Mm-hmm.
My father decided to make an album in 1978. He was a music producer, and he had a garage studio in the backyard. And a few known people came through, the likes of Tower of Power, In Vogue, Too Short. And it's funny. Ever since this reissue process started, my father also produced this guy named Hosey B.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved out of Oakland. We moved about 60 miles out. So my mom and I, we lost pretty much contact with most of the musicians. And unfortunately, quite a few of them passed on.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand it's a pecking order. It's the performer, his family members, and then the producer and the producer's family members, far as the royalty rights go.
Mm-hmm.
So they couldn't find anybody in Hosey B's family or him, and they knew where we were because of my mom's reissue. So they reached out to us, and no, we don't know where they are or anything. So we pretty much shoved that along. But yeah, to get back to my mom and dad, they toured the Bay Area. Pretty popular. I hate to say it, I guess I'm like most kids. I knew they were good, but I took the music for granted.
Right.
I could stand and listen to it, and I keep pushing, My dad involved me. I would DJ in between their music sets, so I would go and help set up. I was a pretty active part of the whole music scene. I would go with my dad to jam sessions.
Mm-hmm.
He would set up the PA system and Sundays from like 5 to 8, 5 to 9, they would musicians would just come and sit in. So, that was a big part of my life. And after my father died, my mom decided to continue the dates of the job. She went on and did that for about 4 years. And it's really hard on a female band leader because back then musicians were mostly men. Leaders of bands were men.
Right.
So she got tired of arguing and fighting with the band members and decided to stop the band. So when she got remarried, the last time she sung was at her own wedding reception.
Well, yeah, she had to put her music career on hold to raise the family, to make sure that she had enough money coming in for you kids,
I was about 35 years old.
Oh, okay. See, I'm not getting the timeline on this one, but I know she put her music career on hold for a little while she was getting things together, and she had to put the band on hold. And you're telling me because it was she was a female, and they didn't take too kindly to that, putting a female in the front.
No, and a guy reached out to us, Chris Webb from Kalita Records. Mm-hmm. He told me he had been looking for my mom for a few years and thought she had passed on. So he wanted to do a reissue album. And actually, the original album, wasn't really an album. It was more like an EP. It had 5 songs and an instrumental. Mm-hmm. So Chris, he redid those and did extended versions of a couple of songs and pressed it up, and he put it out. And the first 6 months, it did real good. And it kind of, hit its peak and started slowing down a little bit. Mm-hmm. So that's when I got on Twitter and doing the independent thing, emailing different music blogs, different radio stations. And along the way, I learned that the car radio is a dinosaur, because people like you have music blogs.
Oh, yeah.
And, I have to admit, my friend, your radio station rocks.
I appreciate that. It only rocks because I have people like your sweet mama on the radio getting to spin that good music all day long.
But Dan, I'm gonna tell you, I talked to JJ Kane. Mm-hmm. She's a worldwide DJ,
right?
Or I wouldn't call her a DJ, more like a music director, I could say. Mm-hmm. And she says the same thing, but as being a DJ, timing is everything, because you could play a hype song at the wrong time, and you look up and the dance floor is empty, and you'll be like, what happened?
Exactly.
So it's the music, but the DJ builds the show. Mm-hmm. So I'll say that. So
Well, yeah, you got to know how to read your crowd, man. And you doing the DJing for your parents, that was something where you were helping to build their show up. You know, they only have so many songs that they could sing. A DJ's got much, much more in his repertoire to keep that party going, and that's what you were doing.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm actually doing the same thing on Twitter because, you know, truthfully, my mom has six songs, you know, and I've been doing this for about a year and a half.
Oh, yeah.
So, fortunately, I have another artist, Rankin Screw.
Yes.
And he has literally over 100 songs that I have access to. So, you know, I do my mom, and I'll do him.
Yeah, Cleveland Heston. I mean, you got your mom. She's got 6 songs. That she could be a very, very well put into a concert as a featured artist. And this way, you have a bunch of different artists that'll make a whole show. So her and her 6 songs would fit in quite nicely in a nice festival. And is that something that you're putting together now?
You know, that's the plan. Unfortunately, then I'm up. I'm either waking up at 2 in the morning or going to bed at 2 in the morning because of the time difference.
Right.
Like, I know it's 7 o'clock when you start the show.
Right.
It's 5 o'clock here.
Right.
But when I'm talking to friends in London, it's 8-9 hours difference.
Oh yeah, I've done podcasts all over the world, and I understand that timing is interesting. But you know, that's the life of an entertainer. You go to work at 9 p.m. and then you get off about the time the sun starts rising.
Yeah, and you know, I've learned in my short Twitter time, immediate response is the best thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
people want it now. People want it right now.
Yeah, because somebody could leave me a message, and the effect is totally different if I reply back 8 hours later.
Right.
Then, like 8 minutes later, you know.
Absolutely.
So, my mom opened the door, and thank God that Rankin Screw is international also.
Right.
Like, to give you an example, I don't know if you're familiar with eTunes. They're a British promotional, free promotional music blog where they'll promote various artists. So I had been holding back. Of course, you know all the songs. Make Love to Me, Love Will Set You Free. And I just last week, put out I Got a Feeling. Matter of fact, I know you. I've seen you play that. Maybe over a month ago, I told my mom, I say, Mom, Dan, he just played I Got a Feeling.
Yeah, I got them all on rotation now, so they're playing on RadioWhat.com. I'm very appreciative of the music that your mama has put out. So where is your mama now?
In the kitchen, I smell dinner.
Just about time, man. Just about time.
Just about time. You know, it's just funny how all this is coming around. I mean, my mom was saying, if your dad was alive now, he would be so proud. I'm like, well, Mom, times have changed. I'm literally in my bedroom, and I'm all over the world.
Yeah.
Instead of getting in my car driving 6-7 hours to go to a mastering studio or to go to a radio station and physically hand them your music. I could just do like I did you.
Yeah, I've done
Give you
sales jobs all over the world, where if you want to sell a product to somebody, you don't have to go out an extra hour. You can get them on the phone and make sure that that they want what you're selling. And that's what you can do with this internet is make sure that they want what you're selling. You tell them, hey, I got Carrie Cleveland. She wants to perform again. Has she been out? Is she singing anywhere since we've talked last?
No, she's been practicing.
Gotcha.
Now, okay, the situation, the hardest hurdle is one, her age.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. She's in better shape than I am, truthfully.
I mean, old B.B. King was sitting on the stage. He had a chair that he sat on almost till the day he died. So I don't think age is a factor here. I think she can handle it, hopefully.
It's not that. It's, the travel time to go to a studio to rehearse. Mm-hmm. Different band members, because now that it's getting closer, 2 keyboard players reached out to us.
Right.
So people are now offering, we'll back your mom up, and I have to make sure I pick the right pieces to make it comfortable for her.
Right. Man, I hope that they understand, yes, age is a factor, that they can come to her. A lot of people can set up a small type studio in their house with a computer and maybe a little keyboard and kind of, have a little practice room where you're living. Is that the kind of situation that you can do, or is that not possible?
Well, it's we have a big enough house where it could happen. But I had to take it slow. First of all, I had to make sure she wanted to do this.
Right.
And then have her understand how time-consuming it is, because she hasn't been in practice for decades now. Mm-hmm. So the problem that I was having, it's like, okay, the Good Day Sacramento interview, it's a morning show.
Yeah, I know you did one back in 2018. There's a YouTube video of it. So if people want to see that and see you and your mom, you sporting your mom's shirt, man, with her picture all over it. That's great.
Just make me a plate. The problem is with that, we had to get up at the crack of dawn. I mean, out of the band pieces that we have, they live twice as far as we live, and it's really time consuming for them to drive and to go for maybe 2 songs if the program director says. I know we're doing 1 for sure.
Yeah.
So it was suggested that we go to it's an app that you could download an MP3 and it will reduce the vocals. Mm-hmm. I think it's called. The name slips my mind.
Right.
So we tried that, and it's an engineer that's right across the street from the record store. We gave him an album, and he's working on that. So hopefully we could for the two shows have that, instead.
Something with a little backing track to kind of help her out a little bit when she's doing her singing the first time out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be good, man, because really the people just want to see her. Now, I'm guessing, if you go to a show and they're just, people after 40 years, they're doing it one more time, just going back there and giving the people just one more time. I don't think anybody's gonna fault her for having some kind of a backing track, maybe a little backing vocal to kind of help her out a little bit, maybe lower the vocal a little bit so she could kind of sing along with herself. I don't see that as a problem as long as people know that's what they're coming into. You don't want to be a young artist and do that because, hey, that's just bunk. But, hey, an older artist, I could see that, man, to where, hey, they really just want to see your mom. They want to see Carrie Cleveland up on stage. And that's just my view on it. I would want to see that. If I, got off my duff and off my couch and went out to a show and all I was doing was coming to see that legend, Carrie Cleveland, I would just really all I want to do is see her and then maybe do the meet and greet afterwards,
Yeah, that's the plan, and the other situation is, of course, we want to sell some albums.
Oh yeah, that's the bottom line. Hopefully, you'll have a few albums on a merchandise table that people can come and support. Because now she would be acting as a whole new artist again. She's not really. I mean, she's been established. She was big back in the day, but now she's trying to make her little comeback. And if she could put out a little merchandise table that maybe a Cleveland Heston will be manning or one of your crew. And she could sit behind that table and maybe sign a few albums, I'm sure the fans would come out for that. I hope the fans would come out for that. That's what you're wanting to do?
Yeah, it's so many people that say they are coming.
Yeah.
Oh, soon as they hear that she's singing, oh yeah, I'm there.
Good.
Oh yeah, I'm there. So, I mean, we're in Northern California.
I got it.
And Berkeley is about 50 miles south of us.
And that's where you're thinking about playing?
That's where Hercules Records is.
Okay. That's about a good hour away, I'm sure. I don't even know how. I know the L.A. traffic is terrible. 2:00 in the morning, I was in a traffic jam when I was out there. Hopefully the traffic up north isn't quite as bad.
Not as bad, no. But coming from San Francisco, pretty close. It's L.A.'s cousin. It's L.A.'s cousin.
I believe it. I believe it.
But I have people coming from as far as L.A. to Berkeley, which is about, depending on how heavy your foot is, 5 hours. And I got a few friends on Twitter that say they're coming, and I know one is coming from as far as Nevada.
Oh, wow. Taking the 15. So off.
Yeah.
Just fantastic. I'm glad she's making this comeback. I'm glad she's doing this. I see nothing but, hopefully it's putting a smile on her face. Because, does she need to do this? Is this something that she needs to do? Or is this something that, hey, let's give it one more shot? Or is it something that she wants to carry out the rest of her days going out and doing shows?
Well, honestly, I'm the one that pushed her and put the thought in her head, because when this campaign first started, we sit at home on the weekend and cuss at Lifetime TV.
Hey, some people have certain kind of hobbies. That one's yours.
So I'm saying that because it's a feel good story. My mom and dad loved each other, and they had one love in common: music.
Yeah.
And to see them interact, and the way things are now, it's a lot of single parent families where the mother and father can't get along. I was truly blessed. My mom and dad got married twice.
Yeah.
And I was the only child. Now I could start an argument saying I was spoiled, but I don't think I was, because my father, I was offered things, but I had to work for them,
Yeah.
But I was truly blessed, and I realized how blessed I was to experience a happy family. And a lot of my friends were the same way, so they understand. And if you would know my father,
Yeah.
you would. I don't know anyone who loved music as much as he did.
Well, Heston, Cleveland, let me put this bug in your ear. To preserve your mom and dad's legacy, have you thought about writing a book about it or putting it down in a memoir and then possibly making it into a documentary or a movie of some kind? I mean, you are in California. That's where they do this stuff. They make movies. Have you thought about this to preserve your mom's legacy, mama and dad?
Well, you know what? Yes.
Yeah. So how far has
Yes,
that gotten? How far has that thought gotten? Have you talked to anybody?
Well, it's been in the air, and people have reached out with interest on it.
Yeah.
The story's not over.
Right,
So,
right. You're just writing the end of the story right now. Yeah, I mean, this is that one more time. This is that, that feel good moment that at the end of the story. And yeah, she's not going to be done by the time the movie's out. Hopefully, she'll be in front row at that premiere. But this is like a good bow on the present here. Putting a button on it. So, who have you talked to people and people of filmmaking or book writing that can help you put this story into fruition?
Well, I got a close friend that does independent films.
Yeah.
And I brushed it by him. And he was like, hell yeah, man, that's a hell of an idea. Yeah. But unfortunately, with the timeline for the docudrama or bio or whatever, would go kind of costly because the generation span, because we got to have the cars, the clothes.
Well, it doesn't have to be that much of a period pick. I mean, it could be a documentary where you'll show some pictures and talk to some friends that are still around and people that knew her way back when. It could be more of a documentary rather than an actual movie. I mean, but people are definitely thirsty for stories. And this is a story. This is a good story about, coming from Carrie Cleveland, 40 years in the making. Even before that, before she made those albums, she was making music previous to that,
Yeah. So it's been milling around. I think once the public knows and she makes an appearance, that would move forward a little faster.
Yeah.
I even have a couple of friends sending me material for her to sing, to like remake a couple of songs, a couple of old standards, My dad had a couple of students in the game that make really good music. So the offer has been laid out. But like I say, I'm taking one step at a time.
For sure.
We'll get this appearance over with, and then look for the next step.
Very good, man. Very good. Well, I look forward to hearing more about the appearance that's coming up. Do you have you don't have a date set yet, or you do have a date and in Berkeley, or is it going to be someplace else?
Yes. Okay. Right now, the immediate thing, we did the Chronicle article, and that'll be coming out. The digital copy will be coming out Super Bowl Sunday.
Okay.
So I'll make sure to send you that. And the following week, the newspaper comes out. So hopefully, right after that, we'll do the Good Day Sacramento segment where she will sing a song on TV.
Hey, just in time for Valentine's Day. Hopefully she's singing I Need Love or Make Love to Me, which one of the love songs she's got.
That's all she had.
Yeah. Perfect. Just in time for Valentine's, man. Getting the people falling in love to the music of Carrie Cleveland.
That's the plan. February 15th, the day after Valentine's Day, we got the social gathering.
Yeah.
We have news coverage that's going to be there. We're going to let people meet the great Carrie Cleveland.
Yes.
She's going to do a couple of songs.
Yeah.
And sign a few albums. We'll authenticate a few of the reissues. And, of course, we'll sell a couple of the originals.
Yeah. And you have an address on this, or are you going to have people stay tuned to your Twitter feed for that?
Well, all the above. It's, you know what? Let me, before I say the wrong address, let me find it real quick. I'm not as fast as you.
Oh. So. These kids and their internet, I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, I'm slow motion.
You're doing just fine, man.
It's just coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 1734 Alcatraz, Berkeley, Hercules Records. Live performing and record signing February 15th, 12 noon to 4 p.m.
And how can they get tickets to that?
Oh, no, it's FREE.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic, man. So I encourage everyone on the What Makes You Famous walking tour to walk on over to Berkeley, Hercules Records, man. Do it, February 15th, and meet up with Carrie Cleveland. And she's going to be doing some singing there as well.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Well, that's fantastic, man. And I'll definitely keep a watch on your Twitter feed, and I know I have your Facebook, but mostly you're really, really hard at work on Twitter, making sure that people remember who Carrie Cleveland is and keep that music alive, But, any other avenues you want to explore before we round this up?
Well, yeah, I do have another artist.
Uh-huh.
Rankin Screw.
Yes.
It's, okay, I'm not going to pull away from my mom.
No, but how can we find out more about Rankin Screw?
He has a Twitter page. I do his promoting. He's on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, and you could also come through me to get him. You can email me for booking. Heston Cleveland 5@gmail.com.
And what kind of music is Rankin Screw? I haven't had the pleasure of listening to him.
Oh, I'm going to send you a few.
Okay.
He's it's kind of a cross between reggae and R&B and a little touch of hip hop.
Hey, now we're talking. I'm from Miami, South Florida. I got that feel, man, that reggae vibe. And you're all the way in California, man, taking that reggae vibe all over the world, man. I love it.
And you know how I met him? I met him through my friend that played professional baseball.
It's amazing how people meet, man.
Yeah, I picked him up from the airport, and he says, "Take me to get a car." I
Yep.
took him to get a car, and we come to my house, and he hangs out with my mom for a little while, and he says, "Come on," and we go to the house, and he's under an old '64 Volkswagen van.
Ah.
And, we go inside. They introduce me. And he said, "Heston, you're in the music. I want you to listen to this CD, and I'm going to ask you a few things."
Yeah.
So I listened to the CD, and I was hooked. But then they hid the cover song for me for the last song.
Mm-hmm.
And it was... I might be having the name wrong, but it was La 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 means. I want to say the Delphonics.
That's it. La 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 means I love you, man.
Hey, and then he had the little reggae twist on it.
Yes.
I fell out the seat.
That's how you do it, man. A lot of people don't know reggae, man. They'll take a lot of pop songs, a lot of songs that from other genres, and turn them into, flip them on their head, and put them into reggae beats, man, and it makes a whole new song out of it. I think that's great, song. Man. I think that's great. Get that vibe, man. As reggae, that slap 7, get your bodies moving out on the beach. Whether you're on the dance floor, man, it'll make you feel like you're on the beach. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
So I got hooked up into the reggae scene, which I didn't know anything about.
Well, maybe
I worked from 3 to 11, so I promised my friend that I would look out and manage them.
Yeah. Well, maybe down the line, we'll have them on the podcast, man. We'll talk a little bit more with Rank and Screw.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
Yeah. If you can get them together, man, we'll give them a chit chat and find out a little bit more about them.
Because I went to his house. I would go to his house before I go to work,
mm-hmm.
and they would have company over. And the name of the group is Rank and Screw and Ginger.
Oh,
and
okay.
Ginger is his live-in girlfriend, which she plays the keyboard.
Sweet.
So he would be talking to the guests, and she would open the door, and she'd go, "Hess, do you know who that is?" I'm like, "No." The Wailers.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
Bob Marley's group, baby.
That's the only group I knew. The Wailers, come on now.
Yeah.
And you just said, yeah, well, he's the house band for a lot of featured reggae artists.
Uh-huh.
And, I met Don Penn.
Uh-huh.
If you might not know her, but you would know her song. She sings the song, "No, No, No." And I'm like, I know that song. I'm all pumped up.
Well, living in Miami, I used to go to the music shop down there in Kendall, and half the Marley's kids were shopping there. So Bob Marley left a lot of kids, I think. So
yes, he did.
And he left a lot of good music too, man. So, but a lot of them live in South Florida, so I did get a chance to run into them from time to time. I'm not sure if I ever ran into a Wailer, but probably in the Florida Keys, maybe. But you're talking about legends right there. These are greats, man.
He even opened up for Shabba Ranks.
Yes, Shabba.
Yeah,
Mr. Lover Man himself, man. I love it.
Yeah. So he was on the verge of making it.
Yeah.
But the thing that hurt him, he wore too many hats.
Well, I mean, you got to fall down before you can get back up again, I guess. As long as you get up.
Yeah, it just became a little too much, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't understand why, but now that I'm in the music industry, I understand why, because people will offer their help all the time,
Mm-hmm.
take your money, and nothing comes of it. So you like to be the one involved, but you can't be involved and perform, rehearse, do your social media. You got to divvy the hats, because I really have too many myself.
Well,
But
any of the artists want to know, they got to make it to that next level. You got to have some help, man. You can't do it all yourself.
Right.
I know I'm on one level, especially when I'm DJing shows just on the weekends here locally in Arkansas. I'm on this level. I can make my own flyer for that. But if I wanted to go all over the country or even all over the world or even, hours away, it would take a little bit more. I need some help. And that's what you're doing. You're providing that help, Heston.
Yeah, but you're the man. Now that I got your link, I turn to Facebook, I see you. Instagram, I see you. Twitter, I see you. You're like the monster that came out the closet and now is under my bed.
Well, I mean, people still got to hit the follow button. It's only the people that follow, and maybe a few thousand, but nothing crazy. I'm not in the millions. So I got my choice people that like to listen to the stories that get told on this podcast and beyond. And I like to listen, man. I know if I like it, somebody else is going to like it. I'm enjoying hearing about you, Heston Cleveland, and your mom, Carrie Cleveland, and now Rankin Screw and Ginger. That's the next phase of what's going on. So next thing on your plate is that show with your mama on the February 15th at Hercules Records right there on Alcatraz there in Berkeley. And I'm hoping that goes very, very well. And it puts a big smile on her face beyond anything else, whether you make a dime out of it, as long as she has the most wonderful day ever.
Good time.
I hope I hope that is like one of the end results. Yeah. If you make a couple bucks, that's great. And, I definitely want to make sure that I give your mom a shout out right now. I'm sorry that I missed her birthday, but I hope she had the best birthday ever, man. I enjoyed seeing the pictures of her just blowing out the candles and having a good time with her family and friends there. That's beautiful.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful, Dan. She cried and she had to tell that story that it was the best birthday she ever had, and we like, get out of here.
I think number 80 is going to be a big one too, man. That's a nice birthday. That's a nice round number.
Yeah, my cousin said we're going to go all out for that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I look forward to hearing more from you, Heston Cleveland. I'll keep track of you on your Twitter feed and your Facebook and find out what's going on with you. I mean, as we close up this installment of What Makes You Famous, give the people some last words, man.
I sure will. The main thing is, if you believe in something, you have to believe in something. So believe in yourself. If you have a dream, go for it. Because you never know. And like my friend, we are living the dream.
Well, there you have it, party people. Heston Cleveland promoting his mama, and he's also a promoter of Rankin Screw and Ginger. So you might want to give them a listen too while you're listening to Carrie Cleveland songs all night long. Getting yourself in the mood for Valentine's Day that's coming up real soon. So yeah. Oh, I forgot to say, it's my birthday on Friday, so you better come out to the Rab Friday night. That's it for this installment of What Makes You Famous. Thank you so much, Heston Cleveland, for coming on the show. If you want to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call at 501-470-6386 or email info@radiowhat.com. That's it for me. It's Keys Dan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here. If you like what you hear, follow What Makes You Famous social media. Use the hashtag What Makes You Famous. Follow on Facebook at What Makes You Famous. Follow on Instagram at What Makes You Famous. Follow on Twitter at Makes Famous. And follow on YouTube at Keys Dan. Leave What Makes You Famous podcast a review and subscribe. Listen to What Makes You Famous podcast on Podbean, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, and almost anywhere you find podcasts. Tell your story on my podcast, What Makes You Famous. Call 501-470-6386 and leave a message to set up a time. You can support What Makes You Famous using the PayPal link, paypal.me/KeysDan. Email info@radiowhat.com. What Makes You Famous podcast is a production of Keys Dan Enterprises Incorporated at keysdan.com. Thank you for listening. Radio What? The music you want with some great quotes. The absence of flaw in beauty is itself a flaw. Havelock Ellis. The music you want. RadioWhat.com. Tweet, yo. Follow Radio What on Twitter at Radio What Twit. Tweet, yo.